Have you ever found yourself stuck when writing a song? We've all been there. When you're ready to write a song, sometimes the words just don't flow out. And whether you're a seasoned writer or just starting out, it's a little overwhelming to hit that wall. In today's episode, I'm going to talk about 3 tips in order to prevent writer's block. And if you stay until the end of the video, I'm going to give you even more useful tips that I've learned from leading industry experts. Hey friends, welcome back to Cozy with Calinnah, where I'm going to dive into my journey as an independent artist, the highs, the lows, and everything in between. Don't forget to subscribe and watch a new episode every Thursday. Okay, so first and foremost, let's talk about what writer's block is. Writer's block is when you're hitting a wall between your ideas and your piece of paper. So usually writer's block can stem from either being frustrated, not feeling inspired, or feeling overwhelmed. And the question I always ask myself is, how do I get through this? Tip number 1 is changing your environment. This can be as little as changing from one place to another in the place that you already live. So you could be writing in your living room and then writing in your bedroom, which can be a totally different experience. And you could give yourself little small tasks like writing one line in one room where you're writing another melody in the next. Tip number 2 is taking breaks. Now, this can sound a little counterintuitive since you're dealing with writer's block, but sometimes it's nice to have a new experience so that you could be inspired again. So this can mean listening to new music, going to a concert, or even collaborating with a friend to get new and fresh ideas. Tip number 3 is free writing. Now, it sounds exactly what the word is. You don't have to really make sense when you're free writing. It can just be whatever comes to mind so that you can have a different type of structure than your usual way of writing. So story time. Recently, I attended NAMM, which is one of the world's largest music trade shows in America. And let me tell you, there were just so many things that I learned that day. But one of the things that I wanted to share was when I attended a seminar called The Art and Business of Songwriting. The speakers were Larry Batiste and Jeff "Skunk" Baxter. So Larry Batiste is a vocalist, producer, arranger, and is even the musical director for the Grammys. Huge. And Jeff "Skunk" Baxter, he's a really well-known guitarist from Steely Dan and the Doobie Brothers. So one of the things that I find I struggle with as a writer is feeling like I need to have more lyrics. I can have a lot of it set up already, but there's just little missing parts that I struggle with. So the advice that they gave was to always think about relatability. Now, relatability is a really huge factor because we might be thinking complex lyrics and what we are really feeling, but at the end of the day, if you think about your favorite song, you usually remember it because of something unique, either the lyrics or something that was really catchy in the melody. That's how you need to think about your songs, is relatability. And another piece of advice that they gave was to think about songs like mini movies. Now with movies, there's a plot twist, there's a storyline, and there's something unique about the movie that stands out. That's a good way to really think about songs. And another thing that they mentioned, that if you're feeling stuck, you don't have to travel to a wild location or, find inspiration in a random crazy place. You can find the inspiration just merely being at home or wherever you're located. One of the examples that they used was looking at the floor. If there's a rug on your floor, an option for a line could be "you're walking all over me," which I found was really, really of an interesting perspective. Another thing that they mentioned was finding cables on the floor that are warped up. That could be a line for "I'm wrapped up in your love." With these techniques, you can find inspiration literally anywhere in your home. So it doesn't have to feel like you're trapped in a box. I also learned that it's really good to have a rhyme dictionary so that you can refer back to it in future projects that you have if you're ever feeling stuck. So having a word that rhymes with silver or pessimistic, there's always something that can match that. Also, it's really good to refer to things that have already become masterpieces. For example, Shakespeare, poetry books, nursery rhymes. Those are things that we all remember because they're either catchy or they have something that just is unique about them. Another great tip is that they said that there are different ways to explain something. For example, "I love you" can be explained in 10 different ways. Just like John Mayer, he said, "Your body is a wonderland." That could be another way of describing something other than "I like the way you look" or "I love you." So that's just really great tips that I've learned when I attended that seminar that I found very helpful. So in the end, no matter what method you use, there are many different ways to prevent writer's block. So if there's a method that you have that is your go-to. I would love to hear that in the comments below. And as always, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. And I will see you on the next episode of Cozy with Calinnah.